solid understanding of how to properly structure and organize your message, let's talk about putting together an outline. You will be turning in an outline to me for me to grade. You can also use this outline as your speaking notes for your intercultural presentation. You won't need to articulate certain elements that we're going to go over that specifically relate to the outline, but you can gladly use how you want to structure and organize the introduction, body, and conclusion portion of the outline for your own personal speaking notes. I do not expect anyone to deliver their message having it memorized. Everyone needs notes, especially in high stakes situations like this. So over the next several minutes, I want to talk to you about the contents that I look for when you're putting together an outline. I'll also show you an example outline. It's a rough example, but it's a good example nonetheless. So when we think about the outlines and contents that are needed within an outline, we're going to start really simple. We need your name at the top of that thing. We need the title of the outline, and that can simply be intercultural presentation. That could be your title of your outline. You'll need the general purpose, which will be to inform. You'll need the specific purpose, that is that behavioral objective. What do you want us, the audience, walking away knowing after hearing your speech? The central idea, also known as the thesis, this is the overall main idea of your entire presentation or speech in one statement. Your outline, the elements should include main points, supporting points, and have connectives throughout. The connectives are those transitions that you've read about. You'll want those connectives throughout because those are the connectives that you want to use when you're delivering your presentations as well. You'll also need a conclusion and a bibliography. So I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to walk you through some of the elements. When you're putting together an outline, you want to focus on proper symbolization and indentation because this will show, this is like a map showing me the relationship among the ideas that you have, starting with the introduction, followed by the body and the conclusion. Your visual framework should look something like this. You should have Roman numerals for your main points and either letters or numbers for your supporting points. Whatever you choose to use, whether it be letters or numbers, you must be consistent throughout, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you need to use supportive support, I just ask that whatever you choose, if you use letters for the support, the supporting support should be numbers, or vice versa. So let's take a look at the guidelines for your intercultural presentation. View these guidelines as a checklist. You want to just go through them step by step and make sure you have them. So you're going to create a speaking outline using Microsoft Word based on the guidelines discussed. It says in class, but for you it will be discussed online. The outline should be double spaced, and the introduction and conclusion should be in complete sentence format. The body, however, should be in topic keyword format. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So I'm asking that your name is in the upper right hand corner. You have our title of the course, which is Oral Interpersonal, and your section number, the date. Then you need to have a title of the outline, and that should be centered. Your general purpose, specific purpose, and central idea should be located in the upper left hand corner of your document. The introduction should have an attention getter, your central idea, and your preview statement, and those all need to be in complete sentence format. All parts of the introduction should be separated and labeled accordingly. If we think about that, we go back to this example. This is separated and labeled accordingly. That's what I mean. The body of the outline should have 4 main points, and that should include your description, analysis, reflection, and comparison. Please put this in topic keyword format. You should have transitional statements throughout. And each main point in the body should have at least 2 forms of support in topic keyword format. Let me show you what topic keyword format looks like. If we go right here. Oops, okay. So here we have my name, the course name, the section number, and the date, the title, and this is just information telling you where I got this information from. Then on the left-hand side, I have the general purpose, specific purpose, and thesis or central idea. My introduction is labeled, and it's separated and labeled accordingly for each main point and piece of support throughout. It includes an attention getter, thesis statement. This one has a personal statement of credibility. Remember, this is just an example. If I don't require it, you don't need to put it there. And then the preview statement. And if you'll notice, these are in complete sentence format. And then if we go to the body, your body should have 4 main points: your description, analysis, reflection, and comparison. And this is what topic keyword format looks like. And you have your transitions throughout, and everything should be separated and labeled accordingly. Outline reflects proper numbering and lettering. Again, we go back to this example. Proper lettering, Roman numerals first, followed by letters, and then numbers for subpoints of subpoints. I'm not requiring subpoints of subpoints, but if that makes the most sense for you to do, please feel free to use it. Your signal for the conclusion should be simply to conclude or in conclusion. If we look at this example here, right here is that transitional phrase we're talking about. Restate the central idea. It should, however you stated it here and here, should be how you state it right here. You can just copy and paste in those 3 areas. Review of main points and vivid ending. Your restatement, your review, and your vivid ending should be in complete sentence format. All parts of the conclusion should be separated and labeled accordingly. And that's what that looks like right here. And then you should also have a bibliography or a works cited page. So we'll take a couple minutes and we'll review what that looks like here in just a minute. For your works cited, you are required to complete in APA format. All of your citations should be in alphabetical order, include proper indentation and capitalization, and remember that you need a minimum of 3 sources for your intercultural presentation. Your textbook should be one of them. When you are putting together your APA references, if you've got an APA generator, for example, here's an example of a works cited page. If I were to add a works cited, here I'm just gonna, okay, this student did the same thing. Your Word documents come equipped with references. So let me just see where references, here we go. So if I click on references, I click on insert citation, add a new source. If I'm using, it's going to depend on the type, but if I'm using a book, a journal article, a magazine, a report, or a conference, you have to articulate what that is, and then you'll plug in the information that they ask you here, press OK, and it will give you a citation. You do, however, need to double check and make sure that the citation is correct. How do you do that? I've put together a lesson for you in E360 that will show you the different formats. If we go to the lessons page, you'll go to resources, APA citations, click on that. I give you an APA PowerPoint reference list, how to evaluate credible internet sources, conventions for APA formatting. This is important because this will tell you how to include the information in your works cited or your bibliography. I give you examples, and then there's also a style guide. I like to use OWL at Purdue. It's a text-heavy website, but it's a great website to understand how APA styles work. We'll just go to APA Formatting and Style Guide. And then it gives me all the information I need here to make sure and cross-reference that the information I put here is done correctly. Once you've done that, remember 3 are required. I ask that you don't guess, so check all the support that's given to you. You've got OWL at Purdue, you've got examples given in that particular lesson for you. Check those out. Be as complete and accurate as possible, and include a reference list entry for all information cited in your presentation. Remember, I'm looking for a minimum of 3, and your textbook should be one of them. So if we look at this example here, this person has the 3 that they needed for their outline. I will include this outline in your final lesson where you will be submitting your presentation and your outline, so you can feel free to use this as an example, but remember that it's not 100% accurate. It's a really good example, but there were some issues with it as well. So don't be using it as a template, just use it as an example for properly structuring and organizing your own outline. If we look at the guidelines to the assignment, I ask that sources are listed on a reference page that is a continuation of your outline, just like the example showed, that they're in alphabetical order, and that they have proper capitalization and punctuation. All of this information is then plugged into the rubric I'm using, which is a simple criteria met, criteria not met guide. And each of these criteria are worth 1 point apiece. I have it right there for you. It shows you that it's worth 1 point. So if it's met, that's 1 point. If it's not met, it's a 0. You add those up and it gets to 20, what did I say, 27? Yeah, 27. So that is how you want to properly structure and organize your outline for your intercultural presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to email, call, or stop by. I'm happy to help. This is a great opportunity for you to start just looking through these guidelines, trying to wrap your brain around my expectations for you to complete this. And between now and when this assignment is due, if we look in the lesson here, oh, gotta go back here. Your intercultural presentation will be due no later than December 17th. So you've got plenty of time. You've got about a month, really a little less than a month if you want to get this done before the deadline. But you have plenty of time to start working on this and asking me any questions to help you successfully get through this final summative assessment. Thank you.